G'day guys, it's JB with JB Adventures and welcome back to another video. So today's the day we are leaving Mount Isa. We couldn't leave Mount Isa without letting Emma go through the fossil museum. So that's what we're going to do today. So you know the drill. Hit that like button, turn on the notifications, and please hit that subscribe button, guys. It helps us out immensely. I'll let you know a little bit later how Dusty's traveling and give you an update on him. But for now, let's get in today's video. Check it out. Excited?
So excited.
So I knew there was going to be fossils in here. Obviously I'm not silly, but this thing scared the bejeebers out of me. Now obviously I know that's a projection, right? But a second ago, yeah, see now it's just done it to me again. A second ago it looked like this. And because me is just walking around, old dad here had a heart attack. Looks like Emma's found herself a new toy.
I can't put it back. Here we go.
It's like watching people try and use a smartphone when they're not a smart user. So when we first came up through Mount Isa, Emma ran through some of the prices and some of the things that you can actually do here in the fossil museum. And one of them is that you can pay extra to get into the lab. And we haven't done that today, but I'm just going to show you guys where it is. We come out of this tunnel here. We've actually got the lab in there with a bunch of microscopes. Where you can see how they extract the fossils from the limestone and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. But they also have a heap of interactive things that you can do on the outside, just going through the museum like normal. Which I was going to try and demonstrate, but it was harder. So if you spin this one here, it'll bring up onto the screen here what you're looking at. Wow. Imagine going out to the tool shed and finding a rat that size in there. I'd move house. Now most of you guys will know me by now. It takes me a good half a second to get completely lost and see something shiny and lose everybody else. So I'm going to go back through the Cave of Wonders and find the rest of the group. It's one of the upsides of having kids. So you can hear them a mile off even if you can't see them. So like I was showing you guys before, you've got the microscope lab over on that side, and then just through this window here that Emma's fixated on is where they do all their extractions. So Emma could give you a bit more detail about it, but she's glued to the wall like it's a TV and she's a teenager, so I'll do my best. But this is where they go through the process of extracting the fossils from the limestone.
I want to read that notebook.
Mia's not so keen on the notebook. Oh no, she's got a, oh she's coming. Ah. Turns out it wasn't the notebook, she just didn't want to walk. Emma's found another cave. I was so close to the exit.
Honey!
I'm coming, jeevers. It's like super dark too, so that was creepy.
Begins 200 million years ago, a time when all the world's landmasses had joined into a single supercontinent called Pangaea. Around 150 million years ago, Pangaea splits into two smaller supercontinents,
So towards the back of the Fossil Museum is like a miniature theatre that has a big TV up on there. I'm just going to show you guys that at the moment. I'm just doing the talking here because it gets a bit dark in there obviously. There's a big TV up on the wall that'll explain a whole bunch of information. It's really educational for kids as well. And there's a heap of interactive things throughout this Fossil Museum as well. So I'm not a massive fan of museums, but this one's not too bad. Emma would give it a 10 out of 10. Hey Bubsy. So 1, 2, 3 kids. Okay, good. Alright guys, so as you saw, Emma and the kids are pretty happy chilling in there, so I thought I'd take the time to just jump back out here into the open and try and find ourselves a camp for tonight. I haven't told Emma this, but I found a camp that's Dinosaur Creek. I reckon that's going to fit in really well with today's attitude. She froths over this stuff. I thought she was going to be doing all the camera stuff, but she's just glued to everything, so yeah, we'll keep that one to ourselves. We'll let Emma know when we get there, I reckon. But now, let's go see what she's doing. I dare say she's going to be in the exact same spot we left her.
Which helps us also focus on how to conserve endangered animals today, but understanding where they come from. So not only can we study extraordinary fossils, but we can look at the processes that have turned living animals into fossils that we will be exploring future generations. And every year we come.
Okay, so if the background looks familiar, that's because we're going around again. Because if you don't know Emma, she can't go through a museum once. It's like me in a fishing store. I'll walk around the same aisle about 5 times. Emma does the same thing in museums. Yeah. Keeping in mind, she sat in front of that TV back there for about half an hour, listening to all the educational things. Got a bit emotional. Happy emotional. But yeah, so we're going to walk around this museum a few more times and we'll catch you guys back outside.
So before we do go, there are a few things I want to show you. It's a little platypus skull. So fun fact about the platypus, the very first platypus fossil was actually found in Patagonia, which is also where the very first fossil ever was found.
You know the most recent 2 fossils were found?
The most recent 2 fossils?
Yeah.
Where?
Right here where me and Mia are sitting, waiting for you to leave the museum. So just think guys, in like millions of years time, me and Mia will be sitting here waiting for Emma to leave the museum.
So did you know that you can actually find fossilized dinosaur poos? It's incredible. It's called coprolite. And I cannot wait for the day that I find a coprolite in a museum. It's actual fossilized dinosaur poo. There's a paleontologist here who just started talking and I really want to listen into his conversation. There is a paleontologist notebook just sitting there open, but I don't have my glasses and I can't read it. Such a sad sign. I could have stayed there all day. All day.
Someone's a little bit slow coming out, I reckon. There we go. Rightio guys, so obviously we left the Fossil Museum now. Emma's just jumping in to get some Subway, so I thought I'd give you a quick update on how Dusty's going. Now, I stripped Dusty down quite a bit over this last week when we were at camp and flushed all the fluids out and topped them all back up. Did a pressure test to make sure that the radiator cap was good. I couldn't see a crack in any of the cylinders. I couldn't see any major issues there. So what I think it was, and why it was drinking so much coolant, is it is an older truck. It's also a V6 and it's towing a Caravan, and it was about 45 to 50 degrees heat over those last couple of days after we had the breakdown. We did like a 1,200 kilometer drive after that, pretty much straight. So I think the car was just getting hot in general. I'm still going to get a mechanic to go over it when we do finally make it back to the east coast of Queensland. from Mount Isa here. Obviously we're leaving here in a minute. Emma's just going to get some Subway. Super keen on some fresh food. We've still got about a 2,000 kilometre drive to do to get back to the east coast, and we've got about 4 days to do it as well. I've got to try and book my mechanic in before the school holidays and everything like that hits. And he's got an opening for us on the weekend that's coming up, which means I've got 4 days to get back. And that'll also put us back near our family and everything just in time for my birthday. So at least someone's happy. Yeah, it's my birthday. Thanks, Mia. Love kids at this age. They're so agreeable and easy to please. Once Emma gets back in the car, we've got about a 2,000 kilometre drive to get home in the next 4 days. On top of that, the campsite that I picked is about 400k away from here. So hopefully Dusty will hold out for that as well. But yeah, Dinosaur Creek, pretty keen to get there. It's got some awesome views. Once Emma gets back, we'll hit the road.
Alrighty, so we made it about 50 k's outside of Cloncurry when our temperature gauge started to spike again. So at the moment we're just pulled over, just at a truck stop in between Cloncurry and Winton. We're just going to chill here for a couple hours, let the car cool down, maybe have a power nap, or let the kids play, whichever one comes first. It's usually let the kids play. And then yeah, we'll chill here for a couple hours and get back on the road and hopefully get to our campsite tonight. I'm still not sure where we're camping tonight. James says he's got a surprise for me, so I'm pretty keen on that. So yeah, we'll just chill here for a couple hours and see you soon. Alright honey, what do you reckon?
Well, it's a bit of a catch-22 for us. Obviously the cardinal rule, if your car's overheating or driving in general when towing a caravan, is you want to drive early in the morning and late in the afternoon when it's nice and cool. It'll keep your car cooler, you'll be able to go further. But for us, both of our kids nap in the middle of the day, and that's probably the easiest time for us to drive because they're nice and quiet. So we've got a little bit of a double-edged sword there. We were just coming out of Cloncurry there. We got stuck behind a big road train going through all the windy hills there. So I backed the gears down in Dusty, which meant using a lot more fuel and putting a lot more pressure on the motor, which heated it up a lot quicker. And it's still a good 37, 38 degrees or something today, so it's not that surprising that it overheated, especially with the problems that we've got with the car at the moment. But should be right now. Let the car cool down for a couple of hours, refill the coolant, should be able to push it on and get in between here and Longridge. So hoping to push out another couple of 100k. We'll see how we go. Rightio guys, about 5 hours later and about 400 and something k. We're finally here at that campsite I told you about, Dinosaur Creek.
Dinosaur Creek!
Awesome little spot. Sun's just starting to go down over the back here. Now we were going to camp here for the night, but old Dusty's temperature gauge is actually holding up for us pretty well. The dogs are doing well and the kids are doing well, so we've hit the trifecta there. So I'm going to take full advantage of that. We're going to sit here for a little bit, let the car cool down, give the dogs a run and stuff like that, have a feed maybe, and then we're going to push on into the night and drive for a little bit longer and try and push out some Ks while we get the chance. Got about 2,000 Ks to cover in the next 4 days to try and make it home in time. So yeah, we'll stay here for a bit and check it out. It's an awesome place. We're going to go for a walk up on top of this mountain here and show you guys the view. Absolutely spectacular. So just walking up to the top of this mountain now. Some of you guys actually might recognize the background behind me. If you don't, it's in one of our earlier films when we were heading up this way. We stayed at a place called Kunku Kamu. And if you guys haven't seen that video, make sure you go back and check it out. It looks a little bit like this. And just a ripper of a spot. Just massive, massive gorges around there with spectacular views and a heap of Aboriginal artwork and heritage in there as well. So make sure you check that out. But for now, we're going up a four-wheel drive track in our double pluggers. You can see someone had a blowout. I think this is the fastest I've seen Emma move since she left the museum. Okay, might just have to see you guys at the top. Okay guys, made it to the top. Not a massive fan of the walk, but a huge fan of the view. Check it out. Rightio guys, kids are all fed, dogs are fed, we're fed. Even though we're going to push on and drive into the night, that's going to end of the video for this week's episode guys. I hope you enjoyed it. A little bit of a short one for you, but we've got a bigger one coming up because we've got to get from here all the way back to the south coast, or the Sunshine Coast in Queensland, in the next 4 days. So make sure you stick around for next week's video. Dusty's doing alright at the moment, but I'm still not 100% sure if we're going to make it all in one go. So fingers crossed, and until next time, we'll see you out there. Let's get into today's. Oh, what a bad time to get the hiccups. I'll let you.
Couple hours. I'm not sure. She sells seashells. Made it about 50 k's outside of Cloncurry before our temperature gauge started spiking. That was a fly. We decided to pull over at a truck stop just for a couple hours and let the car cool down, and there is a truck. Here is a truck.
So yeah, not so easy to film when they're in the background and they want, oh hold on. There you go Bubby. Yeah. Some organic sweet corn roundabouts. I'm not sure what that is, it's just like a potato chip. No, but like pumpkin or something, I don't know. Anyway,